our speaker to you. He's the senior category head for marketing at Parle Products Private Limited. Who doesn't know Parle? And while I was reading his bio, it said that he's the man behind the Kacha Aam Ka launch. So thank you so much for that. And so many such other products that have reached us through him. So with over 26 years of experience in the FMCG industry, currently he oversees Parle's entire snacks, confectionery, cakes, and rusk portfolio. He has a keen interest in advertising, media management, and building brand equity. He was also awarded the Pitch CMO Award 2021 of the Exchange for Media Group, which was presented by Mirror Now. The bio can go on and on, but like I always say, I'm sure all that experience that you have gathered along the years would be reflected in the talk that you deliver to our students. So once again, on behalf of our entire team, on behalf of the students, I welcome you to this webinar series, and thank you so much for joining us. And I'm passing over the virtual mic over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aditi, for this lovely introduction. So Parle, my journey sort of began in 2001. And since then, I have had an opportunity of managing several brands at Parle, including a mix of biscuits and confectionery. And in 2008, we forayed into hardcore snacks. And then since then, I've been managing snacks and confectionery portfolio besides bakery. And recently, we've also we have entered into the breakfast cereals segment. So it's under hide and seek called Fills, hide and seek Fills. So these are pillow-shaped products with chocolate filling inside, and this could be had as breakfast along with milk as an accompaniment. Way back in 1929, Parle began its journey with confectionery. So maybe that time things were really very far and scattered, and there, of course, India is such a large country that there is immense opportunity in almost virtually every segment. And food, there is absolutely unending kind of an opportunity. And way back in 29, our founders thought of starting the business with confectionery. They introduced orange candy. That was the first brand, actually. And they started selling, and they went on to introduce several other brands for several years, till about almost 10 years, till they realized that there is a greater opportunity in biscuits. And that's where they introduced biscuits. So in 1939 was the Gluco biscuits introduced, and 1939 was when Monaco as a biscuit was introduced. So before 1929, the founders, the Chauhan family, which owns Parle, they were into their traditional occupation, which was tailoring. So they wound up that option, that business, and they introduced confectionery, and then they went on to introduce biscuits. And one would be surprised. I'm just sharing one interesting aspect of how interesting brand names are coined. And one would wonder, why would have the founders thought of introducing a brand name called Monaco way back in 1939? So basically, Monaco is an abbreviation for Mohanlal, Nathalal and Company. So that's how Monaco was coined, and those were the initial letters, and Monaco came into being, and there was no looking back. But the underlying thought behind launching biscuits was we were under the British rule, and there were only imported biscuits available then, and the founders thought of giving an opportunity to the entire audience in the country, entire country, people in the country, a great option of having the Indian biscuits. And that was the thought, and that was the need gap identification, and that is how the journey began, be it for confectionery or be it for biscuits as a market. Now, as you launch, let's say, so you launch, we ended up launching a Gluco biscuit. So glucose went on to become very big, but eventually it got crowded, and there were many other players who also launched glucose biscuits. So glucose biscuits then became very common because glucose is a regular word. So these are like sweet biscuits, and anybody could use the name. So it could be Britannia glucose biscuits, or so say Amit glucose biscuits, or whatever. And of course, we had Parle. And Parle, the brand name was derived from the station that we have in Mumbai. So there were two villages way back then. There was Parla and there was Irla. So the west side is Irla now, and still a lot of people refer to it as Irla. And the east part of it, of the tracks, the railway tracks, it was actually divided by the railway tracks, and the east part is Parla. And Parla went on to become Ville Parle. So the Britishers went on to call it Ville Parle, and then Parle name was derived from the place that it all started in. And so eventually, as we progressed, we realized that there was a lot of imitation, lot of Me Too products that had come in, and there was an immense need to differentiate ourselves. And that's when we thought, okay, can we look at actually registering the trademark Gluco? From glucose, we cut it short to Gluco, and we went on to register Gluco. But even that did not suffice. And that's when we thought, okay, to launch sometime in the early 70s is when we went on to launch, late 70s is when we went on to launch the revised, the rejigged brand name, which was Parle Ji that you see now. So G, which meant actually for glucose biscuits, and then we gave it different renditions. That is again a marketing function. So we gave it a rendition of G Mane Genius as well. Now I'll zoom on to the most important aspect of today, which is media and advertising, careers in media and advertising. Slowly and steadily. So there were times where creative agencies were doing everything. Creative agencies would be your the partners, and they would do advertising for you. They would do media as well. So both media and advertising. And they would say हम लोग ad बना लेंगे और हम लोग दूरदर्शन में चलाना है, हम लोग दूरदर्शन में चला देंगे. Then Z TV was launched, and then there was Star Plus, and then there was Z is Sony and all. And they would say, okay, हम लोग कर लेंगे. But as the channels, the broadcasting industry fragmented, today we have more than 900 channels in the country, and we have genres. We have general entertainment. So we have general entertainment channels, which are the typical the GEC is what we call, like Star Plus, Z, Sony. So those are the general entertainment channels. Then you have movie as a genre, movie channels, Star Gold, Z Cinema, Before You movies, and there are many other movie channels. We all know we have Hindi and we have regional as well. And then likewise, the same split we would have for regional as well. And then we have music channels, then we have news channels, so kids channels. So this within the industry. So from the time where there was only one channel, the industry has further bifurcated and categorized into several verticals. And that's when marketers and at the same time creative agencies realize the importance and the role of having media as a separate function and advertising as a separate function. So that's when they got split. So media, so though they are so there are a lot of large groups in the country. There is a Mindshare as a group. Okay, so WPP is the parent group, which is global group, and under WPP there are creative agencies and there are media agencies, and there are many other agencies as well. They also have research agencies under them, WPP group. So WPP group has the largest advertising group, which is JWT. J. Walter Thompson is one of the most prominent advertising agencies in the country. They also have the media group, which is called Mindshare, which is also called. They also have a vertical called Maxis. It's also called as Group M. Under Group M, they have Maxis, Mindshare, and a few other verticals. And it is one of the largest media houses in the country. Then there are other groups. Then there is Interpublic Group, IPG Group. under which you have FCB Ulka, FCB Draft as an agency. Draft is also another agency. Interface is an agency. And then Initiative Media is their media wing. So they manage the media part of the business. Then there is another agency called Madison. Madison is a media house altogether. They do largely the media releases. And then if you look at advertising agencies on the other hand, so you have the likes of JW Thompson, then you have Linters, you have Creative Land Asia, you have Rediffusion, you have FCB Ulka, and then you have Leo Burnett, and there are several large and small agencies. And the career options are, of course, once you are pass out from your management course, you can look at joining these agencies, be it advertising or be it media, as a trainee. So typically they take you as a trainee, and they would actually help you learn the tricks of the trade. In advertising, you can join as a trainee, and then you typically, there are, say for example, let's talk of Linters as an agency. So Linters has got several brands as accounts. So those are their accounts. So Unilever is an account, for example, or Parle could be an account, or Colgate could be an account, or any other Mahindra or Tata Motors could be an account. Times of India could be an account. At managing the business of Times of India advertising could be an account, which could be done by a creative agency. Sub TV could be an account. Sony TV likewise could also be an account. Okay, so once you get this account, how do you get an account? Okay, you need to so it could be like offered depending upon luck. So it could be actually offered on a platter, and someone may say, boss, आप लोग आ जाओ, आप लोग हमारा business manage करो. So that is the simplest. But now it's not that easy. Those were the olden days. So one needs to typically advertisers or the clients rather, the brands have become extremely smart, and they say, boss, I want to go for a pitch. तो मेरा account है, let's say hide and seek as a brand. मैं पूरा brand पूरा Parle नहीं देता हूँ. I will give maybe Crackjack, hide and seek, or Chutkins, which is my namkeen brand. So I'll say these are the three brands on pitch. तो इसके लिए आपको I am inviting agency A, B, C. तीनों को मैं invite करता हूँ. You will have to come and pitch and come out with your, and this is my brief. So I brief them properly. I say, this is my TG, this is my packaging, this is my pricing, this is my strength, these are my weaknesses, these are my strong markets, these are my priority markets, etc. And ये मेरा pitch, ये मेरा brief है. So the agencies go back, they work actually, they come. So typically, and in advertising, there are groups. So there is management. It starts from the team that would come for the pitch, or even to service eventually, even after winning the account. So there could be a team comprising of maybe a vice president or a client services director, and then under them there could be an account supervisor. Account supervisor, typically one might say, "Arey, accounts ka kya sambandh hai?" It is not that account. It is basically account, as in Parle is an account, or any other brand is an account, and hence account director, account supervisor, or and there could be a executive, account executive, and management trainee. So those are typical designations. So one may join as a trainee, maybe 6 months, 1 year down the line, one can get absorbed as a account executive, and from there on, one can actually graduate to a account supervisor. And as you gain experience, 3-year, 4-year experience is when one can become an account director. So that's one part of advertising. So one can, so uske andar, the role of this role basically is of liaising between your own creative team, account planning team, and the client. So you continuously are the touch point. You are the single point of contact for the client. Client phone उठाता है, अरे भाई मेरे को एक पोस्टर बनाना है. I want to make a poster, या someone से, अरे मेरे को एक नया ऐड बनाना है, अर्जेंट कंपटीशन ने कुछ किया है, मेरे को एक फटाफट 20 सेकंड 20 सेकंड का ऐड बनाना है. So then say sir क्या क्या brief क्या है, whatever क्या क्या है, and all that. So you can do a competition scan कि अच्छा competition तो they are talking about this how तो ये है और ये brief मैंने लिया, then I go back and to my account planning. So there is another department, one is servicing department, is I spoke about account director, account supervisor and all that. That is a client servicing department. That's a servicing department which is a liaison between your internal teams in the advertising agency and along and the client on the other hand. The second vertical in an advertising agency, which is also very, very exciting and interesting, actually, I would say I would rate it superior, is the account planning. Account planning. पहले किसी के पास account planning team होती नहीं थी. Now account planning team is become a must for advertising agencies. So we say account planning का role क्या है? Account planning is almost a parallel to a product manager, but sitting out of an advertising agency. So he or she has knowledge and understanding about brands. He or she continuously looks at the environment, continuously looks at the category, understands the category, and comes out with cues and the proposition कि ये brand का क्या proposition होना चाहिए as per me, as per the agency. I think this is the whole, this is the opportunity. ये एक opportunity है, ये एक hole है, यह एक gap है, gap basically यहाँ पर अपने को ब्रांड को प्लेस करना चाहिए इन द माइंड ऑफ द कंज्यूमर. अगर ये एक जगह खाली है, इस तरह से अगर हमने इसको प्लेस किया, पोजीशनिंग की ब्रांड को, द चांसेस ऑफ ब्रांड सक्सीडिंग आर वेरी हाई. So account planning basically does that. They come out with the proposition, and this proposition goes as an input to the creative team. So creative में क्या होता है? That's the third team. So I said servicing, then there is an account planning team, and then there is a creative team. अब creative team में भी अलग-अलग verticals हैं. Creative team में एक है copy. Copy मतलब जो बंदा है ना, so he's creating, he's writing, he's got very good writing skills. So one can become a copywriter even after doing management. Absolutely, bola boss, I have a creative bent of mind. I want to become a copywriter. So you go and join an ad agency and say, मैं मेरे पास thoughts है, मेरे पास ideas है, I can write fantastic copy. So what is it that you are able to write, and what is your craftsmanship in terms of writing and choosing the right words is something that makes a copywriter stand apart. Then the other part is art. One is copy, जिसमें टेक्स्ट लिखना होता है. अभी एक प्रेस एड, न्यूज़पेपर का एड बनाना है, या मैगजीन का एड बनाना है, या एक होल्डिंग बनानी है. सो एवरी क्रिएटिव विल बी ट्रीटेड डिफरेंटली. होल्डिंग में I have to, there should be very little use of copy. It should all be visually driven. Why? For the simple reason that my prospect is going to pass by the holding in a fraction of a few seconds. उसके पास उतना ही टाइम वो ड्राइव कर रहा है, या जा रहा है, या ट्रेन से जा रहा है, बस से जा रहा है, उसके पास he has got only that much time to look at that creative, and one should be able to register that message. So that creative treatment should be extremely difficult. It cannot be an adaptation of the print ad. But print ad mein I have an opportunity, because when I am flipping a newspaper, I am looking at the paper, and actually I am interested because I have looked at the headline, and that has drawn me, and say, boss, ye kuch alag hi hai. Let me read this headline, and then I start looking at the details, the nitty-gritties. Typically, some brands which have detailed specifications, so are the ones who would want to make use of print as a medium, because उसके अंदर डिटेलिंग का, अभी रेफ्रिजरेटर है, ऑटोमोबाइल है, अभी यू कैन से कि कार बहुत जबरदस्त है, ओके, बट द डिटेल्स कैन बी ओनली गिवन in a print ad. वहां पे there is an opportunity to give the details, even if it is a laptop, उसका configuration क्या है. So all those things can be given so print becomes an apt medium for certain categories, but for certain other categories which are like very, very impulse, audio visual medium, which is television advertising, becomes a very, very exciting domain. So then the second part is the art. एक है copy, the art. So art director, art typically they say art का बंदा है, art का मतलब executive उसमें भी ranks है अलग अलग. Art director is like ना the head of the art department. So under him is also the studio. तो studio में लोग बैठे हैं और उनको they know the softwares, they have been given Macs and they have the high end softwares, Adobe Illustrator, ये सब इनके पास softwares होते हैं, and then they make use of and they create then this guy art is the one who would say कि boss I have this thought, I have this idea कि ये ब्रांड का प्रोपोजिशन ये होना चाहिए और इसका ये पिक्चर होना चाहिए, ये इसकी ये हेडलाइन होनी चाहिए. तो कॉपी वाला उसके अंदर पिच इन करता है एंड बोलता है अच्छा कॉपी की लाइन मैं देता हूँ, एंड कॉपी वाला वो देता है, आर्ट वाला उसका पिक्चर, हाउ टू अट्रैक्ट the viewer, the prospect, and the entire thing becomes an artwork. So it could be an artwork which can be suitable for hoarding, print advertising, magazine, etc. It could be even for digital banner. Digital में अभी आजकल there is a movement towards digital. So digital में banner होता है, GIFs बनते हैं. So it could also be used for that. So depending upon the media, it needs customization. So the creative needs. So that is one aspect. So art का वहाँ पे role है. Then when it comes to television advertising, so those are the typical opportunities I am saying. One could look at servicing, one could look at account planning, which is very parallel, quite a parallel to the product management role. Then there is creative में art and copy. So one can actually look at that as also as a career, depending upon the kind of bent of mind that one has. One can explore that possibility as well. And then let's quickly talk about television advertising. So brief गया, सर्विसिंग वाले बंदे ने बोला कि सर कभी-कभी they take along the creative people also because they want to hear the brief from the horse's mouth कि यार मुझे डाइल्यूशन नहीं चाहिए, पता नहीं मेरा सर्विसिंग का बंदा या बंदी उसने सुना कुछ और बताया कुछ. So I don't want any compromise. It's a serious account for me. मुझे खुद जाना है, मुझे क्लाइंट और मेरे कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं. I may want to ask certain questions to my client and I'll go and ask. And so that way also things can happen. And otherwise they go back, they brainstorm कि क्या आइडिया हो सकता है. They come back with an idea and then they come back with the scripts. So अगर टीवी एड बनाना है, then they say okay we are ready, presentation हम लोग कब करें. So they come back to you with your scripts. So they narrate the scripts. The narration itself is an art. Again, typical copy वाले जो रहते हैं, copy और art वाले, they have their own skill sets. They are the ones who actually come and narrate. The account planning will make a presentation to the client saying that based upon your brief, the servicing team will open the account, open the discussion, and they say thank you for giving us an opportunity, and I'll hand it over to account planning and let's hear what are the propositions. The account planning will say based upon this is the logic why we have suggested a certain proposition, and here are the scripts. So there is route 1, route 2, route 3, whatever, and then client will say क्या बकवास है. And or one may say wow, the scripts are amazing, super, let's do this film. And that's when you say okay ये film final हो गई है, तो अभी let's get into the cost. Now the cost part of it, and then we say okay अभी मुझे production houses suggest करो. Production, so production house अलग होता है, separate. So production houses, the film final हो गई है, अब now ये film को justice कौन करेगा. So typically the creatives are the ones who take a call कि okay X production house, Y production house, Z production house, they have a humor bent of mind, they have a emotional bent of mind. इन लोगों ने इमोशनल फिल्म्स बहुत अच्छी करी है पहले. किसी ने एयरटेल की फिल्म हर एक फ्रेंड जरूरी होता है किया है, किसी ने कुछ और किया है. सो अकॉर्डिंगली वो प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस सेंड द स्क्रिप्ट्स आर सेंड टू देम कि बॉस वी आर इंटरेस्टेड. एंड हर एक ग्रेड के प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस हैं. देयर आर प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस हु विल डू फिल्म्स, टीवी एड फिल्म्स फॉर 2 crores 3 crores per film or 2 or 3 films, and there are production houses which may do films for as little as 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs. Average will be around 40-50 lakhs की film बन जाती है एक film. And then they based upon that, those production, based upon the budget, the production houses are sent the films, and then they come up with their own interpretation, and they come up with their own value adds. Then they say कि boss मुझे लगता है ये फिल्म है, मैं ऐसा ऐसा कर सकता हूँ. And so they can come and they can come with some value adds, and then the quotes are sent to the client, and client says यार ये बहुत ज्यादा है, इतना नहीं, मेरा बजट तो इतना ही है, तुम 1 करोड़ वगैरह मत दो, मेरे पास तो 60 लाख रुपए है, 60 lakhs है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एंड देन नहीं 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 हो सकता, ये वो करते करते यू निगोशिएट एंड देन यू क्लोज एट वॉट एवर, एंड देन यू से ओके लेट्स डू द फिल्म. एंड देन देर आर एस्पेक्ट्स लाइक प्री प्रोडक्शन मीटिंग, पीपीएम होता है. तो पीपीएम में द प्रोडक्शन हाउस विल डू रेकी, कि कहाँ पे शूट करना है, मुंबई में शूट करना है, बैंगलोर में शूट करना है, दिल्ली में शूट करना है, बैंकॉक में शूट करना है, यूरोप में शूट करना है. सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द बजट, the location and the film script requirement, the films are treated, and then it is decided where to shoot and how to shoot, and then they'll come and present and they'll take you through the details, कि अच्छा ये मॉडल्स के ऑप्शंस है, अगर ये उसमें अंकल है तो अंकल इस तरह के दिखेंगे, आंटी है तो इस तरह की दिखेगी, यंग लड़का है, रोमांस है, लड़की इस तरह की है, तो लड़की के 4 ऑप्शंस, लड़के के 4 ऑप्शंस, बच्चे के 4 ऑप्शंस, देन द कॉस्ट्यूम्स, द लोकेशंस, एवरीथिंग इज डन शोन टू द क्लाइंट. एंड क्लाइंट में से नहीं ये कपड़ा ठीक नहीं, ये नहीं है, you select and then you say okay, done, sealed. Minutes are made by the servicing team and then circulated to the clients, and then there is a shoot date, and then of course there are certain advance payments to be made, 60 लाख का 50% एडवांस, बिकॉज ये सब काम कैश में होता है, मोस्टली सबको पेमेंट्स देने होते हैं तब के तब. मोस्टली दिस आर ऑल लाइक they are all freelancers, बहुत सारे freelancers इसमें इन्वॉल्व होते हैं. they don't have job, they all work on project basis, so उनको तब का तब पैसा या चेक देना होता है, so एडवांस पेमेंट होता है. and then there is a shoot date, कि भाई आज पीपीएम हो गया, 4 दिन के बाद, 5 दिन के बाद, 6 दिन के बाद शूट है, ये लोकेशन है, एंड देन यू गो फॉर द शूट. 1 दिन का शूट है, 2 दिन का शूट है, वट एवर, एंड देन the shoot, the client can be also be there, and then the creative team is also there, the agency, the servicing team is there to ensure that the client क्या क्या उसका थॉट्स क्या है, वो बोल रहा है शूट सही नहीं जा रहा है, ये एक्सप्रेशन सही नहीं है, इसको चेंज करो. सो दैट सर्विसिंग टीम विल कम बैक एंड टेल, अरे बॉस थोड़ा सा ये डायरेक्टर को ये थोड़ा चेंज हो सकता है, कि ये कर सकते हैं, एंड ऑल दैट. सो दोस थिंग्स हैपन, एंड देन इवेंचुअली आफ्टर 5 6 7 10 days whatever number, the film is done and presented to the client, and then the client में से बकवास फिल्म है, या क्लाइंट में से वाओ दिस इज अमेजिंग, और क्लाइंट में से ठीक है इसको थोड़ा सा चेंजेस करो, ये करो, इसमें म्यूजिक ठीक नहीं है, इसमें शॉर्ट कंजम्पशन शॉर्ट नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, एंड ऑल दैट, ऑल दोस थिंग्स विल हैपन, एंड अल्टीमेटली यू विल हैव अ फिल्म ऑन हैंड. एंड सो दैट नाउ फिल्म जब बन जाती है, सो नाउ व्हाट आर द mediums that can reach to your audiences. One could be a TV ad, one could be print ad, and the other could be a outdoor holding, the another could be digital. Now now is the role for the media. अभी ad बन गया है, मुझे अभी इसको populate करना है. how do I communicate to my audience कि अभी इसको लोगों तक पहुंचाना है, and that's the role of a media agency. Now media agency will say okay, media agency typically, media में भी again there are management trainees, there are media planners. एक रहता है प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट और एक रहता है अगेन उसमें भी सर्विसिंग डिपार्टमेंट. सो टिपिकली प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट जो है, दे विल बिल्ड अ मीडिया प्लान, टीवी मीडिया प्लान. सो उनका रोल वो होता है. एंड why do you need a media agency? मीडिया एजेंसी का टिपिकल रोल है कि एड एजेंसी ने आपको एड बनाया या प्रिंट एड बनाया, लेकिन उसको मीडिया तक पहुंचाना है. तो ये मीडिया एजेंसी विल बिल्ड अ प्लान कि ये कौन से चैनल्स होने चाहिए. अगर आपका नेशनल प्लान है, सो नेशनल प्लान में सो यू में से कि मेरा 5 करोड़ का बजट है और मेरा 20 सेकेंड ड्यूरेशन है, मेरे पास 30 सेकेंड का एड है, लेकिन मेरे पास एडिट है, उसका एक शॉर्टर वर्जन है 25 सेकेंड्स का, एक 20 सेकेंड का भी एडिट है. तो एक काम करो, यू रन 30 सेकेंडर्स, 60%, 60 स्पॉट, 100 स्पॉट्स में से 60 स्पॉट 30 के करो एक्सपोज, क्योंकि मैं चाहता हूं कि माई ऑडियंस शुड सी द मास्टर फिल्म, द मेन मदर एडिट, द मेन एडिट, मास्टर एडिट, full fledged for the first 2 weeks. 1.5 हफ्ता या 2 हफ्ता पूरा मेरे को एक्सपोज करना है. 60% मेरे को 30 सेकेंडर चलाने का. Once the ad has been seen, then I don't need them to see the entire, क्योंकि every second costs money. Then I can say कि मेरे को 25 वाला चलाओ, फिर उसके बाद 20 वाला चलाओ, हो सके तो 10 वाला भी चलाओ. So 20% लास्ट का जो है वो चला दो, so that my frequency shoots up. So then they build a plan and they say okay, आपका 5 करोड़ का बजट है, उसमें you will be able to get a budget of about, you will be able to get a reach. There are parameters like GRPs, TRPs, GRPs, and reach. What is the kind of reach? What is the kind of GRPs that this campaign will deliver? And one needs to also earmark the priority markets. So, which are your priority markets across? There is no point. Even Unilever's के पास में limited पैसा है, resources. Every company has limited resources, despite Unilever having an annual budget upwards of 3,500 crores. लेकिन उसका ब्रांड मैनेजर बोलता है मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है, ज्यादा है, very little money. A brand manager of Ariel, a brand manager of say for example Surf Excel or Rin might, or Wheel might have, or Lux might have like say 30 crores, but still he'll say कि नहीं limited पैसा है, because 10 crores तो media plan में निकल जा रहा है. But then there is a limited, and one has to make an apt use of that money. So I want to reach, then I say there is no point in reaching everyone. I want to reach my audience in a particular geography, and because these are the geographies, these are the 5-6 markets, these are my P1 high priority 1 markets. You divide all your markets, the entire India, into P1, P2, P3, and then you say कि P1 में मेरे को 1000 GRP चाहिए या 2000 GRPs चाहिए. GRPs are a measure to tell you what is the kind of the propensity of your ad being seen by the audience. The better the programming selection कि जहाँ पे high impact है, तो the consumers, the likelihood of your ad, let's say a show like Dance India Dance or Saregama or any other for that matter, regional, national, बहुत सारे programs है, और Big Boss. So the propensity of your ad being seen on that particular show are extremely high. So one can actually look at that. So that's the way the GRPs are decided. कि मेरे को 1000, I want about 1000 GRPs or whatever number, and I want to reach. I want my ad to be seen by an audience 5 times. At least 60% of the audience. मतलब I am trying to reach 100. उसमें से 60% of the audience should able to see my ad at least 5 times. Then I can be sure कि 5 बार देखने के बाद the chances of him or her going out and buying my product is very, very high, and it can actually generate sales. So now media planning and media buying, those are the 2 key departments as a career opportunity. Typically planning वाले का काम है वो पूरा GRPs number crunching करता है. There are softwares available. He will do a lot of number crunching and he'll build a plan. रात लगती है. These are very heavy duty softwares. जब plan आता है, there is immense pressure कि मुझे कल plan देखना है. तो build होने में it takes, because there are several permutations and combination, it takes a lot of time for the program to give output. So the planning guys, they look at all, they are very, very number driven. उनको ना ये affinity की channel कौन से affinity है, channel को let's say youth की और कितनी affinity है, kids की और कितनी affinity है, women housewives की और कितनी affinity है, या all adults, male audience news जो देखता है, automobiles का decision maker. So you may have higher affinity towards news channels. Certain products, certain categories might be more male oriented than, and most of the FMCGs might be female oriented. They may want to target the women, or certain products might be targeted at the young kids. Accordingly, the channel selection, and these are very, very heavy number driven planning wala. And likewise, even buying wala function basically is he has to meet all the broadcasters, all the channels. It could be radio, it could be print, it could be television. So they keep meeting all these guys, and they understand कि अच्छा a particular channel is going to launch a new show. So they will go and pitch the client को कि boss नया एक show आने वाला है 2 महीना down the line. Would you be interested in taking the title sponsorship, associate sponsorship, or whatever? Can you be a special partner, etc. And इसमें इतना involved है. And these are the, and because they are going to promote, चैनल की हालत खराब है, चैनल नंबर 2 नंबर 3 पे है, उन्होंने ये शो पे दे आर बैंकिंग बिग टाइम, इंडियन आइडल जोरदार आ रहा है या केबीसी आ रहा है, दे आर गोइंग टू स्पेंड, दे आर गोइंग टू स्प्लर्ज मनी मार्केटिंग में, दे विल पुट लॉट ऑफ होल्डिंग्स, दे विल पुट लॉट ऑफ प्रिंट एड, तो उसमें अपने को माइलेज मिलेगा, अपना ब्रांड विल आल्सो बी सीन, कैन वी टेक दैट इंपैक्ट बाय. सो थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो बायर का रोल जो है मीडिया बायर, सो ही कंटिन्यूअसली टेक्स इनपुट्स फ्रॉम प्लानिंग कि क्या जीआरपी क्या सीपीआरपी पे चल रहा है, कॉस्ट पर रेटिंग पॉइंट पे ये चैनल या प्रोग्राम चल रहा है. अकॉर्डिंगली विल अंडरस्टैंड the details, and he'll say कि boss ये rate आपके बहुत ज़्यादा है, and he has to be efficient buyer. He has to ensure that why he and justify that why is he buying a particular program and not the other program, and why a particular program is delivering a rating of Satya Sat Nibana is delivering, let's say, 1.5 TRP versus some other show which is delivering 0.5 TRP, and why to choose. So once you are given a brief कि ये campaign है 1000 GRP है, so मुझे एक plan build करके दो. So they will build a plan which will comprise of GCs, movies, kids, music, a mix of. So music and movies, these are relatively cheaper in terms of cost per rating point, and then you can have frequency, you can have higher number of spots, but the other reach programs जहाँ पे the cost could be lower, and the cost could be very, very high, and the number of spots would be lower. So that's a mix of program construct that you get as a client. A media planning will come and present along with the buying team as well, and they'll keep doing either an annual buying or a quarterly buying. कि they'll say कि सर ये ratings बहुत ऊपर नीचे हो रहे हैं, अपन quarterly खरीदते हैं इस बार, और कभी कभी देख रहे हैं annual buying करते हैं हम लोग. एक channel को बोला जहाँ पे हम लोग regular लेने ही वाले, let's say स्टार के साथ में डील कर लिया पूरा नेटवर्क के साथ में कि हम लोग तुम्हारे साथ in a year we'll spend about 15 crores. So give me the best possible rate. उसमें से स्टार प्लस पे इतना पैसा जाएगा और अदर चैनल्स पे इतना जाएगा, and give me the best price. So that could be one way, and that could be one way to look at planning as well. So I think largely those were my thoughts in terms of opportunities in both advertising and media.
So Mohnish Shah is asking, so what do you think, where will we learn more about practical marketing strategies and about the business world, in a good B school or working in a marketing department of a company for 2 years?
Yeah, good question, Mohnish. I think so first and foremost, it's always good to learn as much in a best B school. So no two ways about it. If you are an aspirant of the best B school, I'm saying continue to do that, because that will make you fundamentally very, very strong. It will actually develop your analytical skills better. But there is no alternative to practical work experience. So it can actually become a deadly combination. An education, basic fundamentals, understanding from a best of the best B school, along with a practical work experience in any marketing department, advertising or media department, or research. Research is another wing, actually, a part of marketing. Any of those streams one can choose, and as one gains experience, I think one can sharpen one's overall marketing skills.
Thank you, Mohnish. That was a beautiful question. Thank you, sir, for answering it.
Earlier, with the television and print ads, they used to have a longer shelf life. But now with social media coming in, everything is going so rapid in the ad industry. So the afterthought that ads used to develop, now that's not happening. So what are your views on it? And as you said, television ads and all are so costly. So will the MNCs and companies be looking forward to it, or will such advertisements just vanish?
No. So see, MNCs, because they're making lots of money. So it's okay, and that's why they have that kind of budgets. So budgets like 3,500 crore. Just imagine. So that's huge. And almost about, I would say, even in case of Parle, almost about 85 rupees we spend on television. So television gives us the best response, but last 2 years have changed, and we have started disproportionately increasing our spends on digital. So digital, one may say sasta hai, but no, that's not the truth. Digital is also very expensive, but only thing is digital can help you do an extremely focused targeting. It can help you reach real audience. if you talk about typically what do you do in digital, so one may ask question. So one would say, okay, मैं social media करता हूँ. Social media में क्या है? Instagram and Facebook posts. Typically, one would look at that, and then you keep building your pages. So one would have a page on Facebook and Instagram, and by the kind of content that you are continuously churning, you are able to get the followers. The more the followers, so some company might have 1 million, 2 million kind of followers, and the kind of the engagement that you are doing. If you are coming with some contest and you are giving some giveaways, and so that's how the audience will start developing love for the brand, and they say, boss, ye brand bahut acha hai. I want to keep going. Every time I open my Facebook, every time I open an Insta, I'll just go and check what the brand is doing, and it's going to come in front, and I'll keep sharing it with my friends and other influencers as well. The other bit could be influencer marketing. So somebody who's got 20,000 followers, 50,000 followers, 1 million followers, all the celebrities, they have like large following, and even a small tweet, a small reel, or small post by them can actually help you reach a lot of a huge audience across. And so that, and then besides social media marketing, then one can also look at doing GDN, Google Display Network, putting banners on different sites, etc. Being a integral part of games. Games is evolving as a very huge opportunity. You and me, everyone, generally I'm saying, tend to have some favorite game of ours, and within every day we know that there are daily challenges, and to gain some certain points, one needs to look at the ads. These are free of cost, otherwise you need to be a premium customer, and so on and so forth. So digital is evolving big time, and but still, even with COVID, we have seen there has been a huge shift towards digital, but television still holds the major budget. There was a recent report, and which showcased that digital has grown very fast in terms of revenues, but television still leads the revenues by far. Yes, other mediums like print, traditional mediums like print, outdoor, and radio definitely have taken a hit. Magazine, the reading ability is slowly and steadily reducing, which is extremely unfortunate, because reading is a very important aspect. Reading, in fact, even writing is a very important aspect of a child's education. I hope I've been able to answer.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaizen, for asking that. What are the 3 essential qualities to be successful?
I think patience, knowledge, and perseverance.
So my second question is that what are those 3 values according to you that you require in order to be happy?
I think be very straightforward, because I think that's the biggest value. I think being straightforward and yet tactful. So I'm saying, do not be a bhola. So one needs to be extremely tactful is the word that I would use, because this world is full of very smart people. So the group dynamics, once see till the time you are students, it's fine, but once you enter the corporate world, there are a lot of group dynamics at play. People try to play you down, and a lot of things happen because everybody wants to get that critical role, and they want to put all the equivalents to be like shown in a poor shade. So all those things happen, but I'm saying be very tactful and be very straightforward. I think that's a sure path to success.
Right. And my last question is if you have any final message for our students.
I think I've already given, but final message. Yeah, I think. Final message. I think this is an interesting one. My take is I always wanted to be an entrepreneur myself. I am 50 now. I have been working for about over 26, 27 years now. And so So I tell, I have a son, I have two sons actually, and one is about 19, the other one is about 16. And I keep telling the best time to start your business is when you are young. In fact, before getting into job, so typically one would have a thought like, no, कि मैं कुछ साल job करूंगा, I'll earn some, I'll have some saving, and then I'll start a business. I think it never happens. The best time for you to be an entrepreneur is now. This is the time for you to hit it hard, because, and this is the time for you even to experience failure. Go for it now. I think that's my message.